Yes, people, welcome back. Weekly Surgery, episode 10. But before we get into it, people, let's hit the intro. And there you have it, people. Serene intro into Weekly Surgery, episode 10. Welcome back to the Albert JTV practice, or as I like to call it, the Southeast London red carpet. Even though I live in the Millwall area, so that's not going to go down too well, man. Funny enough, they've actually still got a chance. They've got an outside chance of still making the playoffs. I think the Championship, they're going down their last week of the season. So if them guys make the Premier League, if you're getting a away ticket for that game, you can come and stay at my house. Because boy, listen, I don't know where you're gonna do any fan cams outside that stadium, but trust me, I know only too well, man. But people, obliterate the like button. As you can see, I've got my two Arsenal brothers, the two best Williams after Serena and Venus. I've got on But yeah, people, man. Weekly surgery into double figures, man. Wow. What can I say? So, people, I've got the Twitter handles of both my guests in the box, and it'll be going along the bottom of the screen as well. And to my audio listeners, of course, how can I forget you? This will go on my Spotify and my Anchor later, so you can hear my, as Amanda said to me, make sure you don't say dulcet tones. So, people, we'll get into that, man. It'd be remiss of me, guys, not to speak to you about. I'm still exhausted from the game yesterday, watching it, the Man City Real Madrid game. Wow, football. G, I'm gonna come to you quickly, mate. Like, what is your sort of thoughts on the game and people's stance about Pep Guardiola winning the Champions League or failure to do so?
You know what? I've got to say, like, I somewhat lost interest in the Champions League over the years. Obviously, with Arsenal's absence, let's say, from the competition. But I tell you, this season's Champions League, and in particular, I've got to say the performances from Real Madrid against PSG, Chelsea, and obviously now City has somewhat kind of forced me back into enjoying the Champions League, because for a long time I've just not watched it. I've followed results. I've kind of kept a close eye on it, but not always necessarily watched the games. But yeah, I think for me, this season Champions League really really lit. It came alight when Real Madrid did that comeback against PSG, where it looked almost certain that they were out. They did a remarkable comeback against PSG. For large periods of the Chelsea two legs, Chelsea were the better side, but again, they just have this spirit, this pedigree, this history that they're just never out of it. And to be fair, last night's game, I was watching it, and as entertaining as it was, I'd kind of got to the point where I was settled. I was resigned to the fact that Man City were going to go through. So I kind of had it on the background with only a couple of minutes to go, thinking, oh yeah, this game's over. I'm just waiting for the final whistle. And before you know it, one inspired substitution in bringing on Rodrigo. 2 minutes later, they're right back in it. It was just like you said, you're still kind of getting your breath back from
exhausted. Yeah,
it was one of the, I think Real Madrid, they've probably got two, if not three, contenders for the greatest comebacks in the history of the Champions League in this one season of the Champions League. So yeah, it was an incredible game. I'd say you got a feel for City, but to be honest, I don't feel anything for them. And I think it just comes from the fact that people might say I'm salty, people might say I'm sour, but for me, I can't, just similar to Chelsea, I can't get beyond the fact that it was billionaire ownership and it was oil money, etc. That's kind of propelled these teams into becoming giants in the league or giants in Europe. I don't see them as big as they are and as successful as they are in recent years. I don't still see them in the same light as I would a United or a Liverpool or an Arsenal. I just don't.
Yeah.
I kind of can't accept it. So I didn't really feel anything for City fans or City as a football club. But in terms of Pep Guardiola, I've got to admit, like, I think he's the best manager on the planet. And the reason why I say that is because I take into account what he did at Barcelona. Yes, people will say Messi, etc., etc. But I still think it's pretty premature to put some of the other managers, notably Klopp, in the same category as him. Just because if you look at his CV, if you look at his repertoire, it speaks for itself. Regardless of the players he's had at his disposal, he's won everything and anything wherever he's gone. However, as far as I'm concerned, if he doesn't win the Champions League at Manchester City, he cannot see, and people cannot see his time at City to be a success, for me personally. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, Manchester City have spent over £2 billion on players over the last however many years. He hasn't had any limitations when it comes to his job. Any limitations at all. He's had unlimited resources, and for a manager of that caliber, and I'm praising him here. Manager of that caliber with unlimited resources to not win the Champions League at a club like Man City, what they've become. For me, I think the Champions League rubber stamps his legacy at Man City, and I think if he 100%. Doesn't go on to win it before he leaves, I think he'd be honest enough to admit himself that it would be seen as somewhat of a failure, but. We'll see. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's no signs that he's going to leave anytime soon. He will get another crack at it if he stays there. But yeah, question marks, raised eyebrows, because really and truly, they've been in two fantastic positions. They were in the final last year against, as far as I'm concerned, a Chelsea side that's not as good as them. They bottled it. Yeah. And to be 5-3 up with 2 minutes to go, to then be clawed back to 5-5 and lose it in extra time. Some of the substitutions he made were questionable.
He's done it before. He's done it before in the Champions League as well. I think when we had the first lockdown, they played Leon. Was it the last 16 of the quarters? He made some weird decisions, man.
Yeah. He seems to get to this point in the season and he seems to really overthink things. I was saying, the last thing I'll say is, I was speaking to Bobby from our Canon Chatter team, and I was saying, I don't quite understand sometimes what he does. You know, he's played, you know, he's relied on Sterling all season to get them in the positions they've got. Sterling is the third player that scored the most goals for him, other than Aguero and Messi. And it's the money end of the season, and all of a sudden Sterling can't get a start, and he's starting, you know, Gabriel Jesus week in, week out. Sometimes, like, I can't fault the quality of the manager, but sometimes the things he does, particularly in the money end of the season, it's questionable.
Yeah, no, great points, man. As Jake in the chat, big up to you, man, bro. We'll get you on very soon, man, for the end of the season. RJ, let me come to you, man. Same question to you. Your thoughts and about the game as a spectacle yesterday. I thought it was brilliant. Really, really exhausted to watch that. Extra time and your thoughts about Pep, man.
I mean, G just said it perfectly about Real Madrid. There's times where you see Real Madrid, you look at their squad, you know, it's kind of age, and even if you go back to last season, and I can't lie, the way they beat Liverpool last season, you know, people will be like, oh yeah, they've had injuries, etc., etc. Cool. I didn't expect Liverpool to lose last season, but they did what they did. Chelsea handled them, you know, and we all remember what happened with Chelsea at that season. But this season, and especially the way Real just started off, I mean, losing to teams like Sheriff and stuff, I think, bloody hell, what's going on? I thought it was all falling apart. But the pedigree of Real Madrid, Benzema and, you know, Vinicius Jr. also as well, credit to him, have done exceptionally well. Yesterday, just to skip past, I mean, wow, what a game. I mean, like G said, I was kind of resigned to the fact that it was going to be a Man City-Liverpool final. Now, me personally, I wanted Real Madrid to go to the final based on the fact that, one, yes, I know how far we are from the level of competition, but I cannot stand another team winning the Champions League before us. And that's just my opinion. Regardless if I like Pep Guardiola or not, Arsenal comes first. It's as simple as that. Also to the fact, I kind of look at the way Real Madrid, you know, like I said, they look like they were struggling, you know, and they were pretty much on the beach. They just secured the La Liga title, you know? And it's like, well, going into this, all City have to do was keep a clean sheet. That was it. All the odds were against, and then yet the man himself does it again. So congrats, and you know what? All I can say is I'm happy I get to see, because that final, Real Madrid and Liverpool, is going to be very, very interesting. And for Pep Guardiola, more questions, you know? Can you do it without Messi? That seems to be the year in, year out situation. And I mean, even with the Sterling thing, I mean, when he came on, I actually forgot he was around. I thought the dude was injured or something. Generally, I thought it was absolutely criminal. Why would you not bring him on a little bit later? Or even could have put him on instead of Grealish, for crying out loud. I mean, don't get me wrong, Grealish did okay when he came on. But, I mean, Sterling, I mean, damn. But in the end, man, Real Madrid just showed the quality. Pep Guardiola, again, like you said, he overthink. But I kind of think it was just, I kind of think the team let him down as well. Just not as much as Pep making changes. But I don't know. I just think at the end of the day, Real Madrid's pedigree showed at the end. And I mean, back to the drawing board with Pep Guardiola. And now we will see what happens in this title race between them and Liverpool. Because what is going to be the after effects? So that's my thoughts on that.
RJ, just got a little bit of feedback on your when you were speaking. So I don't know if you want to come in and come back out again, or rejig your high tech Wi-Fi, your Streatham Wi-Fi you've got there, or Streatham.
I'll come back.
Yeah. Go on. No worries, man.
Second.
No worries, man. It happens, man. Yeah, let me give you my quick thoughts. I think I messaged you. I think I messaged you yesterday, G. Actually, I spoke to RJ as well. Yeah, like I mean, if I was being critical, like I said, a great game of football to watch. Brilliant. I actually thought going into the second leg, I thought it'd be tight, but I thought City would get the job done. If I'm being honest, as amazing as Madrid have been in the last couple of rounds, but I said to you with the goals, particularly they let in Man City. The first goal was completely avoidable. Mm-hmm. Diaz was sleeping because he's got enough time with the diagonal ball that's come in before Benzema's even made the cross. Like, how have you not seen Rodrigo in that position? There's no way he should get in front of him in that position. So the first goal was avoidable. The second goal, I won't fault because I thought it was a great cross from Carvajal, the little touch from Arsenio, and a great header from Rodrigo. But and you know, when they got the penalty in Madrid, I couldn't see City scoring.
Yeah.
I generally thought the game was done. And that's crazy to say, even, you know, with probably, I don't know what, an extra 20 minutes at that time, 25. But I just thought, you know what? City were rattled with the two goals that have gone in previously. The breaks come, but like you said, the substitutions, this is not the first time with Pep. He does, for some reason, as good a manager as he is and experienced as he is, he does overthink it with this competition. I don't know, particularly in latter stages. I mean, they was poor in that final last season. Very poor.
You know what it was as well is that I think it all kind of you know accumulated to the situation they were in, because I think by the time they had conceded those goals, he'd already kind of removed these match winners, players that were really kind of influential that could, you know, the Benzemas and the Rodrigos and the Man City's team in terms of the Kevin De Bruyne's, you know, Gabriel Jesus, etc. Those players that could have, you know, turned the game in a split second, he'd already, you know, subbed off. So I agree with you. You know, once they got those two goals, for me, there was only one winner. Yeah. The only way they were going to get back into that game is if Sterling had done something, you know, incredible or remarkable or something solo at that point. But you know what? I think one thing we are missing from this conversation is the fact that this game should have been buried last week.
Oh, absolutely.
When I watched, you know, it was so funny because I watched the game and my son's he's always been a bit into basketball, but most recently he's been getting more into kind of Arsenal and football and stuff, which is good for me, because obviously I've got somebody else to talk about football with. But he missed the first leg, and I told him to watch it, and then when he watched the highlights, he's like, he looks online, he was like, 12 minutes. I said, yeah, because the game, there was so much in that first leg, and there were so many City chances. City should have won that game about 8-3. You know, don't get me wrong, I don't want to pinpoint, you know, players like Mahrez and Foden, because obviously Mahrez scored last night. Foden, you know, the Brit boy. He's a remarkable young player, but they had chances 2 weeks ago or a week ago, whenever that game was, and that game should have been out of sight for Madrid because Madrid were clinical. They got their 3 goals. They were very clinical, but City were absolutely wasteful. They could have easily won between 7-3 or 9-3 in that first leg. And to be honest, had they been clinical in that first leg, yesterday's tie would have just been a fact of just, crossing the T's and dotting the I's because they would have been well out of sight. But, at 88 minutes, I thought, they're through. And, those missed chances in the first leg are not going to bite them. But they sure did. They came round and bit them because had they been more clinical, that tie would have been over 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 100%. RJ, I'm going to bring you back in just to double check to see if you're okay in terms of like the feedback and talking. But we're going to sort of move on to the first thing. Arsenal's recent form. Positives and concerns, particularly with the last 6 games you've seen, mate. What's your thoughts, RJ, bro?
I'll start with the negatives because as always we want to get them out of the way. Are we all good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good. Brilliant.
All right, sweet. So obviously the negatives, the injuries from Partey and Tierney, major issues. Well, for Partey, as it's come along, we seem to be doing fine. Tierney, on the other hand, I think our back line has been very shaky since he's come out. In Nuno Tavares as well. I mean, defensively, he's not great. We all know that. Let's be honest. I'm not going to batter him because, we could say a lot of harsh things, but we're not going to do that, are we? No. But I just feel like defensively, that is a worry. The performances of Crystal Palace, which I did kind of feel like we might drop points there, but the way we got absolutely battered was ridiculous. Gabriel hasn't really looked as great as, until the other day, but let's be real, he ain't really looked great, let's just forget about Palace. Southampton wasn't great, especially after they got slapped by Chelsea 6-0, and what did we do? We didn't do anything. We just made Southampton look great again. And then the Brighton game, which I think tactically was just stupid. I mean, as I said, Tavares, can't really rely on him, and Mikel Arteta decided to go back and play Xhaka, which we know that doesn't work in the left back position. And I think a lot of us were kind of like, just play Tavares. We'll deal with it if we lose. At least he plays left back or left wing back, wherever you want. And Brighton were on poor form. So leading up to the Chelsea game, we all thought, oh God, we might get slapped. Which I have to say was a very entertaining game in the Chelsea game. I thought, wow. To go there, score 4 goals as well. Eddie himself as well, turning up and taking his chances, regardless of how easy it looked for him. You got to take your chances. We've been moaning about Lacazette doing that for God knows how long.
Yeah. Oh, you gone? You back, RJ? It's gone. Yeah. I'll bring you back in. Gee, let me come to you. Let me sort out his issues. So just kind of the last sort of 6 games. Arsenal is just this football club, man. It's I don't know what to say anymore. Yeah. So what's your positives and concerns, man? What you've seen in the last sort of 6 games, bro?
You know what? The funny thing is the same things that I'm concerned about, the same things that I've been impressed by. So it's a weird one. It's like, the 3 previous games, like RJ said, against the likes of Palace, Southampton, and Brighton, I was massively concerned with the defense. I think we've been defensively poor, and also, even though we were defensively poor in those games, there were chances that we had, which, had we been clinical, we probably would have got at least something, if not won all those 3 games. Because when you actually reflect on the performances minus the result, we were dominant in all 3 games in terms of all the stats, in terms of shots, in terms of possession. We just weren't clinical. So defensively, we were poor in those 3 games, but in an offensive aspect, we just weren't clinical. We didn't take the chance that we had. So that was a major concern. So like RJ said, I was absolutely dreading, the Chelsea, United, and West Ham fixtures because when you look at the fixtures realistically, we went into the international break on a high, and we thought, yeah, we can really, really cement top four with wins against Palace, Southampton, and Brighton, and we literally did the polar opposite. So when the Chelsea, United, and West Ham fixtures came up off the back of those 3 defeats, I was just thinking, yeah, I just want the season to end, to be honest, because I just didn't envision our performances turning around. I didn't envision us getting anything from those 3 games. So moving into the games against Chelsea, United, and West Ham, I got to say, against Chelsea and United, I still feel like the defense was a concern. I don't think Chelsea and Man United, made the most of certain periods in the game where defensively we were a little bit suspect, but we did. So when Chelsea was suspect in defense, we pounced and we were clinical. Similar against United, when we had chances, we buried them. But if you look at that United game, for example, they had multiple chances to get back into that, let alone the penalty to make it 2-2. So, defensively and up front, we were poor in the first 3 games against, Southampton, Brighton, and Palace. Against Chelsea and United, yes, there was a kind of upturn in performance and work ethic and spirit, but again, I just feel like we were poor defensively, but we were clinical up top, which is what we've been crying out for all season. Against in the West Ham game, for me, it was a bit different because I think out of all the games of those 6 games, I think that's the game that we were at our best. Because I think defensively, don't get me wrong, their goal, we weren't great in terms of the goal that we conceded against Bowen. But I think, particularly in the second half, I think we showed real grit, real determination. We were strong in defense because West Ham were throwing the kitchen sink at us and we stood firm. And that was quite impressive. And yet we had pretty much a couple of clear-cut chances and, up popped, Rob Holding and Gabriel, and we scored 2 goals. So moving forward for me, I've seen a lot of evidence that the defense is not what it should be and what it was at the beginning of the season. And I've also seen a lot of evidence that, our players can score and we can get goals from all over the park. But moving into the next kind of last 4 games, I'm still very much concerned about the defense. And I'm still very much concerned about whether or not we can be clinical enough across the next 4 games to actually secure enough points to get that top 4. So for me, I'm as much as I'm feeling more confident, especially with the fact that Spurs are playing Liverpool and we're playing Leeds. And I think if results go our way, I think we will be in a very, very, potentially a very, very commanding position going into that North London derby. But yeah, for me, I'm concerned about the defence, but yet at moments, particularly against Chelsea in the second half and West Ham in the second half, I've been impressed. I was concerned about, the attack against, the likes of Brighton, Southampton and Palace. But yeah, I've been impressed with the way we've been putting away the goals against Chelsea, Man City, Chelsea, Man United, and last game, who was it? West Ham. So it's a bit of both. The same things I'm impressed with are the same things that I'm concerned with. It's just like, I think the main point to just summarize is we just need a bit of consistency, to be honest.
No, well said, G, man. Well said. RJ, I'm going to bring you back in because you want to finish up what he's going to say, man.
Well, I'll start with the positives. I just feel like, thanks, guys. I feel like, going forward, it's a lot more better. Eddie coming in, has revitalized us a little bit in terms of we're finally seeing someone
a different focal point. Yeah.
And especially in the West Ham game, I wouldn't even batter him for that because I've seen some people kind of be like, oh, he wasted hella chances. But to be honest with you, I think he done well. It's unfortunate he didn't score any of those chances, but I keep saying this. Lacazette, we haven't seen him do any of those things. So when we're seeing Eddie come in there, it's a little bit of a fresh air, The difference is it just wasn't clinical enough. That is the only problem. But, like you said, my main concern is the positive and the negative. The defense, I mean, at times it looks good and at times it looks bad. And I think, you know, with Arteta, I think the way he kind of wants to wrap games up, he likes to go into like a back three, Rob Holding, Ben White, and Gabriel. And you know, my kind of worry about that is someone might eventually crack that. But other than that, I just think, you know, the consistency, we really need to kind of work on that going forward. And I think once we get that in, I think we'll be okay. But, you know, I'm taking it game by game. You know, people think the
Yeah.
league game is going to be, oh, yeah, we'll win that. And then Tottenham will get taken care of by Liverpool. Listen, we've seen some weird shit this season. Excuse me, French. But, you know, I'm not saying anything until the North London derby and I see the points tally between Arsenal and Tottenham, and then we'll see after that.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought it, yeah, because I was looking at sort of the league tables for the last few seasons. So 18-19 Spurs got fourth with 71 points. We got 70. Obviously 19-20 season, Chelsea got 66 points, finishing fourth. Last season, Chelsea 67 points. We're on 63 at the moment. I think 70, just over 70 will get it done. So we get 3 points and hopefully on Sunday. That's 66. So, I mean, if Arsenal can't get 4 or 5 points for the remaining 3 games, they don't deserve top 4. So 70 points. I think 70 points will get it done. I do think he'll get it done. Obviously, because we're, you know, I'm taking into account that obviously who Tottenham has still got to play as well, because they might still drop points, to be honest with you. But yeah, my quick thoughts before we move on to the next thing, Arsenal. I remember I did a little. I do my quick match reactions. I shove on Twitter and Instagram. When I did the one with Chelsea, I was just shaking my head, man, laughing. I just thought, this football club, man, I just don't understand it. Like those 3 games really hurt us before, man. The Southampton one, we actually played all right. We didn't really look like scoring. That's the only issue. But to win the 3 games that we've won, I said it with the 10 games that we had to go, particularly with the big teams. Arsenal had to win minimum 2, in my own humble opinion. So to get 3 out of 3 so far and having to still play Tottenham, no one would have called that, even the most optimistic Arsenal fan. There are still some concerns, as you guys raised, man, because the clean sheets have dried up. But the goals have come out of nowhere. It was at 9 goals in the last 3 games. I mean, no one would have said that. I would have picked one. But yeah, and I mentioned this point. I was on big up Harry Simmons on his phone-in show a couple of days ago, and he mentioned about, obviously, I know Arsenal, people go on about Arsenal having playing 1 game a week, but we had like congestion with Premier League games. My argument to that, though, is there's always been an issue with the Premier League fixtures, even before COVID, by the way. And my point was, if you add the games we're playing, less games we're playing, and the injuries, I think they said it, West Ham have played 11 games more than us. That's 3 months worth of fixtures. If you cram that in during the season, we would have struggled big time.
Yeah.
Rowan asked me, big up Rowan, man. I love him, my little brother, man. I met him for the first time in the United game. RJ Arsenal blog, check him out, people, man. But he said to me, Albert, do you think we'll get top 4? Because no one's actually asked me that, I think, not in recent days or weeks. And I said to him, well, I think we'll just get it done. But yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tight, but I think we'll just get it done. And yeah, that's sort of my thoughts, really. But yeah, the 70-point margin, that should get it done. If I'm looking at sort of previous years over the Premier League in terms of what got top 4, it should get it done, but you never know this Arsenal side. And just to finish up quickly, I think what Mikel Arteta needs to sort of change for me is we win a lot of games of football with less possession. If you look at possession stats, particularly against a big team, get a lot of possession. When the onus is on us to break teams down, we struggle. That needs to change, and that there needs to be a readdress and a meet in the middle with that. But yeah, man, big up to G, my 2 Williams brothers, man. People, go and follow them, man, and smash the like button, like I said. Get your thoughts quick on the next thing. Oh, dear, it's like being in politics, mate, I tell you. Josh Cronky Fans Forum, your general thoughts about what he had to say. Hashtag substance. I'm gonna come to RJ first, and then we'll get just your general thoughts about the Fans Forum. I think it took place on Tuesday, I believe it did. It happens. I think it's meant to happen about 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Josh is to attend at least one of those, which he did obviously quite recently. Before I come to you, RJ, let me give you a bit of a, how can I put it? Bit of context. You know what it is with Josh is a hard one to work out, man. It's almost like talking about. I mean, I'm not a massive politics person, for example, with the political parties, but it almost feels like the same. These guys are very good speakers. They talk well. They use the right language. They sometimes get people in a position where they're hook, line, and sinker. But for me, what it comes down to, as a voter, as you two are as well, what words can mean something sometimes, but it's about actions, isn't it? But RJ, let me come to you quickly. Yeah, what was your sort of thoughts from what the snippets you've seen? Because I don't think there's been a full transcript of the. They spoke about many things like season tickets and recruitment and many things. But what's your sort of initial thoughts of what you've heard and what you've read and seen?
He's just said what he's supposed to say. I don't know who wrote that stuff for him, but well done to them. Because let's be honest, even watching Mikel Arteta's press conferences, which have been a drag to watch this season,
Some of them, yeah, absolutely,
exactly
yeah,
sounds exactly the same. I mean, him talking about, everyone's done really well to get behind the team and still kind of be with us. I mean, well, no shit, Sherlock. We support Arsenal, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. At times, we probably want to turn the TV off, but we've been with this club for too many years, as long as we supported it. So why the hell would you come and say some shit like that? But at the end of the day, I just kind of felt like I didn't really take him seriously, what he was saying, because I don't take them seriously. I'm more of this, like you just said, Albert. I want to see it. Don't just come and say things. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then what makes matters even more messed up as well within these fan forums, why are people not allowed to even ask them a question? How serious are you about Arsenal? Where do you want to take them forward and stuff like that? That's why, reading some of the things he said, I'm like, okay, but anything else?
RJ, hold that thought for a minute. Let me go through a tiny bit of what he said. Not going to go through loads of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
We've got a lot of work ahead of us. We have plans in place to continue to strengthen the squad. Now having match day revenue back and having fans in the stadium has been great. We continue to provide whatever support we can for Mikel and continue to push the squad forward to achieve our goals. There's some stuff about the women's team coming along and looking to support them and investing into a new building for the women's team and many more matches to be played at the Emirates. There's bits about Mikel Arteta, the solid foundation that Mikel has laid has really shown for the last 3 matches in particular when our backs were against the wall. I want to thank you guys. For sticking with us through all the ups and downs. The support home and away has been unbelievable. I'd hope to see the fan base uniting behind Mikel and the young bunch. I can feel and hear a whole new level of connection that's going on around the club. It makes a real difference, especially for the young players. And we all want the same thing, which is to be back at the top competing for the biggest trophies. RJ, I'm going to come back to you. It's kind of what you said, really. I would expect him to say that. You have a very senior position at this football club. I don't know if anybody knows in the chat, or maybe you two guys might know when they actually plan these fans forums, because I feel it's quite interesting the timing of it this time. Yeah. So RJ, come in.
It says a lot, really. When things are falling, things are going up. Oh yes, it's like whenever we do good, a new training kit comes out or something.
Yeah.
One of the quotes actually really was interesting. When he bring up the revenue, you didn't need to bring that up, because now it kind of says to me that okay, now we've got revenue in. Now we don't have to put any of our own money in. Whatever you guys have bought with training tickets and all the money you put in Arsenal, now we can just use that. You know, now you guys are back in the stage, we can use that and buy whoever you want, potentially. So, I mean, I'll be honest, that wasn't a very good look with people you're trying to get on your side, you know? But, yeah, again, I expect you to say that. I'm glad you mentioned the women's team. That's good, you know?
Listen. That I can kind of get. Yeah, listen, to acknowledge that's very important for me. I think it is, particularly with how the women's games have evolved and the women's team are doing very well. RJ, any more thoughts before I pass on to G? Anything else you want to say?
Again, like I said, I just want to see. I want to see what's going on. There were talk about how we know that Edu and Arteta. Edu and Arteta already told them submitting their
what they'd want. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we'll see. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to see what G's going to say as well.
Come on, G. So, come on, G. Lied you up. Come on, bro. Tell me your thoughts, bro.
You know what it is, yeah? It's like there's a reason why Josh is in front of the camera and not his pups.
Yes.
There's a reason. And that's because, you know, Josh, you know, he's got the face, he's got the tone, he's got the charisma. You know, he is like, you know, he's a dream boy of working the media. He knows how to work the media. You know, it's all PR, it's all marketing. You know, I see right through it. At the same time, just like you were saying, Albert, you know, with regards to the timing, it's perfect. And the reason why it's perfect is because it's all orchestrated. There is no way that man was going to be prepared to do a fans forum after those 3 defeats to Brighton, Southampton, and Palace. There's no way. Even if it was planned, even if it was scheduled, he was like, "Yo, big man, push that into the future, because I'm not going up there." Because it would have been lamb to the slaughter. But literally, the Arsenal fans would have buried him, absolutely buried him. But at the end of the day, you know, the mood has lightened. You know, 3 great wins. It's the perfect opportunity to, you know, appear and say all the right things. In terms of what he said, I think, you know, he pretty much summed up the season pretty well when he said about it being a roller coaster. I think that was very valid, because I think that's how we've all felt in terms of the season. In terms of what he said along the lines of like reconnecting with the fans, I thought that was good. He also spoke a bit about obviously recruitment and so forth. But for me, I've got to be completely honest. It's like, I'm not saying that he promised or made any promises, but what I will say is that, you know, a promise is a comfort to a fool, you know. So I'm not gonna, you know, I wouldn't say I looked at what he said or heard what he said and thought, I wasn't annoyed. It didn't upset me. You know, I kind of expected it. At the same time, I'm not gonna take on board what he said and be excited or optimistic or anything like that. I'm just kind of listening to him, and it's kind of going in this ear, and most of it's going out that ear, and only a little bit of it I'm actually processing, because the important bits I'm holding on to. So if and when the summer does come and he don't deliver, I will have my ammo, and we will all have our ammo as Arsenal fans, in terms of what he said. But I thought the whole thing was fine. But like I said, I never paid too much attention into things like that, because, you know, as we all know, none of us are naive enough, you know, to know that, you know, those things are there because they just, you know, it's a tick box event. It's to tell the fans what we want to hear. And we'll just have to, as RJ said, we'll just have to wait and see, because we all know, or we all have opinions about what needs to be done between now and obviously the start of next season. And he's assured us that, you know, he's there and his dad's there to support Mikel in terms of everything he needs. So time will tell, and proof will be in the pudding. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Nah, G, well said, man. You know what I would like to have seen, right? And I saw bits of it. I didn't see. You see when Susanna Reid interviewed Boris Johnson.
Yeah.
Interrogate him. Yeah, dude, yeah. but that would never happen. But that's the kind of interview I want to see.
Yeah.
Or even Laura Wood might even do it. But yeah, get Susanna. I know Susanna Reid supports Crystal Palace, but that's not the point. Just get someone that's not going to give him an easy. Listen, I don't know what they asked him, to be honest, in the fan forum. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, man, get Susanna Reid on the case, man. Trust me, man. Yeah. Josh, don't talk about no COVID, man. You can come over, man. Trust me.
I'd love, bro. Listen, I'd love to interview him. I'd love to interview him. Like, honestly, I would, because I wouldn't even be, you know, when you're on a platform like that, there's no point being abusive. There's no point there's no point being aggressive or anything like that. But you just got to ask the right questions. Yeah. And he is a politician, so his default is going to be to go all the way around and try and change the subject. But you just got to be very clever in terms of like your questioning. But like you said, it's the all of that stuff it's all orchestrated, it's all planned, it's all prepped. You know, he's probably got those questions 2 weeks in advance where he can kind of, you know, practice his answers, etc. So they tell me very little in terms of like what his mindset is and what their plan is for the club, because he probably didn't even, you know, think or even write his own answers. You know, it's probably done by somebody else. So. We'll just have to wait and see, man. To be honest, I've never been as, and I you know me, I don't care what people say or think, but I've never been as, you know, Kroenke or the Kroenkes out as most fans have been. My mindset is very much that I don't actually care who owns the club, because I have no control over who owns the club.
Yeah.
What my issue is that if it's the Kroenkes, then step up, show your passion. If you don't have passion, then show your ambition. That's all you can do. And
that's the thing. They have that, but just not for us.
Yeah, I hear that. So for me, it's like I don't honestly believe that whatever we do, as a fan base, unless it's collective and unless it's disruptive to the pockets of the Kroenkes, nothing we do or say will have an impact on them running the club at all. It won't have an impact. It has to be collective and it has to be disruptive to them for them to even think twice about it. So for me, I just, in an ideal world, rather than heading to the stadium with a placard and throwing flares for an easier life. I don't have anything wrong. I don't have anything against fans that do that. But at the same time, for an easier life, I would prefer if they just showed us some ambition and actually just went out there and actually spent some money and gave Mikel what he wanted. Because people saying, oh, Kroenke's out and I'll always be Kroenke's out. I'm not sure about that, because I feel as though after the summer we had, and the performances and the fact that we are still in the running for top four, a lot of the Kroenke out movement has subsided. And what that tells me, which is what I thought before, is that if things improve on the pitch and if things improve off the pitch, the Kroenke out movement will disappear, because what fans really want is a successful team.
Exactly.
And if the Kroenkes can bring us that success, we will forget about all the past misdemeanors. Believe you me, as fans,
football fans are very fickle. We're very fickle.
Fickle. If we start competing for the Premier League and start competing for the Champions League, Kroenke out, Kroenke what? People won't even care. People literally will not care.
They'll be wearing Kroenke wigs, mate. Trust me, mate.
This is it. But until they do that, there will always be those murmurs. And obviously, if there's a downfall in terms of performances, in terms of recruitment, then that will intensify, and then we'll find ourselves in a situation where obviously fans were protesting and so forth. But in an ideal world, I just want them to just do their jobs properly, which is, you know, recruit properly, you know, help us get results on the pitch, and then and the rest is history.
No, well said, man. Yeah, listen, time will tell, man. Time will tell. It will. They're, like I said, these guys, they speak well. Like I expect them to speak well, and when they interviewed, like the same when Sinelli and did that interview with Laura Woods, of course he spoke well. Yeah, I didn't expect them to give a bad interview.
Yeah, exactly.
These guys have paid a lot of money to be.
Probably been trained from about the age of 15 of how to work the media. Do you know what I mean?
100%. These guys, they're not stupid. They're not gonna listen. They're not silly. But no, guys, big up to you for that, man. Let's move a bit of a gear change for next thing. I'll start with G actually, and then I'll come to RJ. What one non-Arsenal player would you like to see in our team on current form? People in the chat for you lose your mind.
Yeah.
Or you watch this back in the Premier League. Hashtag not an easy choice. G, before I come to, I'm gonna pick mine. I'm gonna go first on mine.
Yeah.
He was actually linked with this guy, actually, believe it or not. Rumor mill, by the way, what, 3 years ago, maybe. Let me get the young man's picture up if I can find it. Where's he gone? He's just there.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, you know what?
You took my one, but I got others. Don't worry.
Well, guys, yeah, this season, I think in total appearances, he got 44 appearances, 14 goals, 9 assists. I think he cost West Ham £18 million. 25 years old, spent 6 years at Hull, 124 appearances for them, 52 goals. I think he's been excellent, man. Very, very consistent. Again, a guy who's come from the Championship. People probably sneered at him a little bit in terms of is he going to cut it. I think he's had an exceptional 2 years. Also, as well, I don't know if you guys watched it. The first leg against Frankfurt. If that goal had gone in from Bowen, the Techers was incredible. That would have, for me, that'd have been the best goal I've seen this season. So on current form, Mr. Bowen, you'd be my man. Trust me. Yeah, brilliant player, man. G, come to you, bro. Who's yours, bro?
Bro, listen, I had him on the top of my list, bro. Even the way he took that goal against Arsenal, like on the half volley in the air, when he struck that ball, both feet were off the ground.
Yeah,
like the brother is serious.
Yeah, he's a good.
Like, he's a serious talent. The only, no, I won't even go into like why I wouldn't pick him because I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna stick with obviously. I'm gonna stay on track because we're gonna be on that. But yeah, no, Bowen was definitely up there in terms of my choice, and the reason why I say that is because I think if you look at the season across the season, you know there've been periods in the season, significant periods in the season where we've lacked goals, and I think someone like Jared Bowen definitely would have helped. But there's a couple for me, Go
on, bro.
Dare I say it, I'll only go into detail on the one I've picked. But for me, I think Mahrez is having a fantastic season.
Wow.
24 goals from that position. Yeah. And the only reason why I wouldn't pick him is because of Saka, because I feel like they play too similar on that wing. Another guy, dare I say it, I'm sorry for saying it, but I got to say Spurs' Son. I think he would be absolutely electric in this Arsenal team. Can play across the front three. But the player I'm going to go for is somewhat of I wouldn't say an unsung hero, because I think he gets his applauded. But I wouldn't necessarily say I feel for him because he is in the team. He's an important part of the Liverpool side. But obviously with the likes of Mane, Firmino, and Salah, I don't think he gets enough game time, and that's got to be Diogo Jota. I think if I could pick one player, in terms of kind of Premier League that for me was doing bits at Wolves,
he's excelled.
Yeah, Wolves, like when you see a player at a club and you think, God, why didn't we go for him? 45 million in this market. Really, for a player that what he was doing at Wolves in the team he was in was just, for me, was a snippet. I think Liverpool have gone about their business brilliantly, so they've taken him there, and he's kind of had to accept the fact that he's gonna get his minutes in his game sporadically because of the likes of Mane, because of the likes of Salah, and he's gone about his business quietly. Like, he's made no noise. He comes on, and when he comes on, he delivers every single time.
It's mad for a guy of his height. He's actually very good in the air.
Honestly, I've not seen this guy come in and play in the absence of one of the other two or the other three and not either provided an assist or a goal. and for some reason, he loves scoring against us.
He's got a good record. He's got a very good record.
For two reasons why I would bring him into this Arsenal side is one, because of our lack of goals. I think he would score a hatful of goals for Arsenal. And two, it would mean he wouldn't be scoring against us. So yeah, my choice would be Diego Jota.
Yeah, before I come to good shout, great shout. Before I come to RJ, I remember playing with Jota when he played for Wolves. It was I think it would have been before COVID, definitely. I went to the home game against Wolves. I thought he destroyed us. So he gave Thing a nightmare. I think it was Maitland-Niles.
Absolutely.
He gave him a nightmare. And you know what? Jota's a perfect example of a player getting a big move to a big club and excelling.
Yeah.
It don't happen very often, but he's a prime example. I think he's been exceptional. He's been brilliant. Yeah. Good shout, G, man. RJ, the floor is yours, man. The Prince of YouTube. Who you coming up with, bro?
I'm very annoyed at both of you. You both took people I enjoy. Bowen is an exceptional player for West Ham. I think he's a second lifeline for them, other than just talking about Declan Rice. He's very good for West Ham. Jota is one person I've always wanted to sign.
Yeah.
He's just a crafty dude. And again, since he's gone to Liverpool, the levels have just gone up.
Yeah,
and like you said, G, he's so annoying against us. You just know what time it is. When you see him on the score, you're thinking, oh God.
If it's not Vardy who's got a good record against us, it's him.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to get a good record against us. We need to stop that, honestly. But one person that is also in Liverpool,
go on.
Dream. He would have been, I dare say, the perfect Fabregas type replacement in our midfield. That's Thiago. That guy can pick a pass.
Yeah, he can pass. He's a superb passer.
The way he controls it.
Good shout.
I just feel like him and Ødegaard, that would just because we still lack creativity. I feel like him, Ødegaard, Partey in the midfield, that would just be fantastic for me. And I just think his pass is just exceptional. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like Liverpool just got up another level, and that's just someone I've always felt, we need in our team. Because we lack that, but Thiago, man, he's just amazing.
No, RJ, great shout. Honestly, yeah, his passing ability is insane, man. I was like, whoa. When I watched like the last few weeks or month or so, yeah, he's been brilliant, man. Boys, good shouts, man. Great shouts. People in the chat, obliterate that like button, like I say, man, if you haven't already, and go and follow my people on their socials. Now, this is an interesting one. Again, I'm gonna go first. I want to save you. I want to get you two's opinions last. I spoke about this guy. I spoke about the guy last week. I've actually chosen another guy. I'm gonna touch on the guy I spoke about last week, but I'm gonna talk about the guy that and I think we've probably all gonna have done this on players in terms of where we need to strengthen. I've gone for an outside one. I hope one of you guys ain't got him ready, but I'm gonna go for him anyway. I've looked at Mark Cucurella at Brighton. An absolute snip, £15 million from Getafe. Listen, he played well against us at the Amex. He's played well this season, to be fair, at Brighton. And I thought he's actually excellent against us at the Emirates, if I'm being honest. I know Mwepu and Basuma got the headlines, but I thought he was excellent. Listen, I think they signed him on a 5-year deal, Brighton, so I don't know how possible Brighton have been very smart. They've got a very, very good player. They know if they sell him on, they're gonna have to play double to get him. But he's been brilliant, man. You can play him at wing back, left midfield. You could probably play him wide left on the front three, for example, if you really, really wanted to. But technically brilliant, can do his defensive duties well. I've been very, very impressed. And you know what? He would be ideal. Listen, I love Kieran Tierney, but I think for a lot of Arsenal fans, if not all, we have to kind of accept the fact that we've bought a guy that's injury prone.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of even at Celtic, he had a lot of injuries. But yeah, Cucurella would, for me. Listen, there's a lot of left backs out there we can look at, but listen, this guy would be a good shout. And obviously, last week I mentioned when I was talking to Daps, so I feel for Daps, but that must have been a nightmare journey coming home yesterday, man, from Madrid. But Tyreek Mitchell at Palace as well. I think he's been excellent for a couple of years. And I'm surprised actually that some of the Premier League clubs, this guy was within the last 6 months of his contract last season.
Yeah, it's mad.
Listen, I don't know what it takes to get him out of Palace now, but listen, he's someone for me I would seriously look at.
Well, I'll say about the Brighton youth, though, yeah?
Yeah.
I think from what, if I remember rightly, he was the first player, that put Tommy on the ropes.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, he did.
He was the first one, because up until that point, Tommy looked solid. And then went against, I think it was the Brighton game, yeah?
The first half, he tore him a new one.
On the ropes. And that's when I realized, I was like, hey, who's this? Because up until that point, I had not seen much of Brighton.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a big shout, Albert. He's a good player, man.
I'll be surprised if Brighton keep him for a couple of more years. Let me come to RJ, because I think I took it anyway. RJ, go on, man, go.
You're damn right. You know you took it as well. I mentioned this guy to you before. I said this guy looks good. Very technical as well. He's a very good dribbler. And you know what, man? I think he's an absolute steal.
15 million, bro. Yeah, man.
I mean, damn. Well, you know, you left me startled. I'm actually struggling.
I know. I'll come to G, and if there's another one you want to think of, But Cucurella, man. I thought, you know what? Just someone outside the box who's been very, very good this season. I think he's played 30. I think he's made 32 appearances for Brighton. He's part of the Spain team that won silver medal at the last Olympics. So listen, he's a good player, man. How old is he? I think he's 23 years old. So listen, big clubs need to look at this. Personally, I think City need a left back. Nothing against Zinchenko. Yeah, they can play Cancelo there, but for me, he's wasted there. But listen, those are two fullbacks for me. I'll be surprised if they're at their clubs in 18 months' time. But G, let me come to you, brother.
Yeah, man. You know what, though? I got I don't mean to do it, but I got to break the rules a bit. I know your hashtag says think outside the box, but I want the box. I don't want to think outside the box. I want the box. So the player I want Arsenal in the summer recruitment to go for is Mr. Haaland from Dortmund. I just want him. You know, I don't know how much it costs in terms of wages, in terms of transfer fee. I just want to see him in an Arsenal shirt. You know what? You know what's making me? You know what made me laugh about this whole Haaland situation is that, you know, for however long, you know, Arsenal fans, non-Arsenal fans have been talking about him, and it's taken the emergence of Darwin Núñez and the emergence of Osimhen and some of these players for people to kind of forget, you know, about this brother. This brother scored 61 goals in 65 games. Like, the guy is an absolute beast. And for me, he ain't got to do much really other than just put the ball in the back of the net, like, for Arsenal. And I know there are aspects of his game that need developing, that need improving in terms of his hold-up play, in terms of his link-up play. But let's not forget, people, he's 21 years old. To get a 21-year-old to score goals at international level and in domestic football at a rate of which this guy is scoring is just phenomenal. And even if you look at his stats, both at international level, in Bundesliga, as well as in the Champions League, there's no doubting how good this guy is. So, you know, I think there are a lot of good players out there that we could pick up on the cheap. But I honestly feel like moving into this summer, even though it probably won't happen, I feel like we need some statement players. We need some players that, you know, we've got a lot of youth players. We've got a really good foundation, but I feel like there are missing pieces. And I'd rather fill those missing pieces and slots with absolute quality than actually with potential, what can I call it? You know, potential risks. And I think with Haaland at the age of 21 and the goal scoring record he's got, I see zero risk in that transfer, regardless of the price. So broke the rules a little bit, but yeah, I don't want to think outside the box. I want the whole box this summer. Give me it all.
Losing. Look, if my own show, I'm muting myself. Unbelievable. But no, but G, you know what? It's not even that, because obviously you've done it and I've done it on positions in the team that it totally straight for him, but 100%. RJ, I don't know if you come up with any names, man, that you can think of, man.
There's only one person I would like to come back and probably challenge Saka, but I mean Saka can move all around the three. I'm not really bothered. I'd have to say Gnabry, man. Bring this brother home. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bro, bring him home, man. He's got a point to prove, man. That Tony Pulis brother calls Wenger to send him off to Germany, man. And then we're looking at him now. Look now. Do you know what I mean? He's ready to
how old is he now, RJ? How old can I be now?
26, 27?
It's good age. Good age, yeah. It's good age.
Very good age. I just think, to be honest with you, like G said, we need a statement. Haaland would be the dream, but I mean, damn, that is just not going to happen.
26.
That's still a good age, man. Yeah.
Good age. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure he can point, give some help to like Martinelli and Saka and ESR. You know what I mean? That's experience. He's played at the top level, so I would want him to come in and like I said, he's got a point to prove. And I think we do need another winger. Like we need to let go of the likes of like Nelson and stuff like that.
Yeah, let them man go, man. Yeah,
man. So, he's been there rusted away for a while, but
stay in Holland, bro.
Exactly, stay there. So for me, Gnabry. But you guys took some very good picks.
We couldn't help it, man.
I like the thinking.
That's the thing. It's gonna be such an interesting summer. For me, RJ, we've had many discussions in terms of with me. I look at football generally, obviously, but with strikers, for me, it's my kind of thing. And this time, when I big up RJ Arsenal blog, I had him on Lee Judge TV, my show, Talking Points, and I said, RJ, I saw you come in the chat. Listen, I've forgiven Victor Osimhen for his performance over the two legs in Nigeria, Ghana. So, but listen, I saw clips seen loads of clips of him. What I've seen of him, pace, strong boy, man. Patrick Schick, technically brilliant, clinical. Arsenal need to get this right, man. They need to get this right, and time will tell. It'd be very, very interesting to see. But guys, for our final bit of Weekly Surgery episode 10, where have I got it now? Score prediction for Leeds this Sunday. #survival, #top 4 race. Before I come to RJ first, Leeds have conceded the most goals in the league. 72 goals conceded. I was shocked. I knew it was a lot, but I was shocked when I saw that. That's more than Norwich. Everybody else. They ship a lot of goals, man. I know they've had some wretched injuries this season, but that's a lot of goals to concede and to not even be in the bottom three because the teams have been that bad below them. I think for this game, it'd be interesting because Leeds are not exactly a back foot team, man, and they haven't been in. From what I've seen briefly with Jesse March and definitely under Bielsa. So I would, if I'm going to go score predictions, I'm going to go Arsenal to win 3-1. I do think we'll get the 3 points, personally. I can't see Leeds coming in and causing an upset. As much as Jimmy Greaves said that famous saying, football's a funny old game, I can't see them getting anything at Arsenal. I'll be shocked if they do. But listen, Arsenal 3-1 home win, man. RJ, what's your thoughts, man?
This is going to sound so crazy. I think we're going to keep a clean sheet. I'm going 2-0. I'm going 2-0.
Good scoreline.
Yeah.
No, good shout, man. Not bad, man. Yeah. Home win.
A clean sheet.
Yeah, we are overdue. 100%. We are. Last one was Villa away, I think.
Yeah, that was before international break, before we started shipping in the goals.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of points to prove, and the defense need to tighten up. If anything,
it's good to see. It's good to see Tommy Asu come back. I don't think it was anything serious when he came off, but you could see the difference he brings to our team aerially and positionally. He's done big difference.
Yeah.
G, coming to you, bro, to close the show, man. What you saying, man?
Bro, you know what? I'm going confident. I'm going big. I think Arsenal need. I can't see any reason why Arsenal are not going to start this game fast. I think we'll get an early goal, and I think we'll really put them to the sword. So I'm going to go 4-0 Arsenal.
Flipping hell, jeez, man! Yeah. I'm gonna have to get down the bookies and put that on, man. Jeez, you've inspired me, bro.
We found our scoring form, so And when you're looking at that team shipping 70 odd goals,
72 goals they conceded.
yeah, I reckon if we can get an early goal, which is a big if, but I think if we do, I can see us running away with it at home as well.
Yeah. Eddie needs to get him some payback for his limited time at Leeds, man.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, he needs to bang. He does. He needs to show them, innit?
Yeah, no, much appreciated. But people, big up to the people in the chat for those who did tune in, because obviously there's football on again tonight. I'm going to tune in and watch it myself. Big up to RJ Wills and G Talks for coming on to Weekly Surgery to hit the double figures hashtag episode 10. Much love to you, brothers, man. Thank you for joining me and giving your fantastic opinions and thoughts. G, give the plug for your amazing work you do on Cannon Chatter, man, for your strong views, man. Come on, bro.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, first of all, thank you, Albert. Obviously, brother from another mother. You know, we chat. We chat on Twitter, YouTube, and even outside of that. But yeah, no, thank you for letting me come on the show. Those of you who are not interested in football, head over to Cannon Chatter TV, and we have a live show at 9 p.m. tonight, where we're basically going to be previewing the Leeds game, talking a bit of transfers, some of the players we've been linked with. If you don't know me, I'm G Talks Arsenal. If you want to follow me on Twitter. And like I said, head over to the Cannon Chatter. There it is, the Cannon Chatter TV on YouTube. We've got a show tonight, and we've got plenty of content coming your way. But yeah, massive thanks to Albert. If for whatever reason you're not subscribing to his channel, make sure you do that before you tune off. Like the stream, and show Albert some love because he's doing big things, man.
No, much appreciated, man. Like I said, I always say to you guys, man, privately, personally, on live streams, networking is important, and if people like what you do, big up Potsy, man. Dan Potts, love you, brother, man. Listen, a simple DM, and we are where we are, man.
That's it.
But like I said, big up to RJ. Come to you. Give yourself a plug, man. Come on, bro.
Guys, we are out of the surgery. You know, and we have smiles on our faces. Again, Albert, thank you for inviting me on. G, great to link up with you again. Guys, make sure you subscribe to their channels and check out my channel as well. I will be making content very, very soon. Ryan Williams AFC, and hit me up on Twitter at RJ Wills. I keep it very blunt. If you don't like it, I don't care. But thanks, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
There you have it, people. No, big got RJ. Listen, I have to give RJ a plug, actually, a big thank you, because we had a conversation. I think it might have been after the Euros. I can't bloody remember, but he said, "Albert, come on, you got to go for the 1K, man. You got to hit the 1K subscribers." I was like, I don't know. We'll see, because it's a lot of content out there, man. But I'm not far off. So 4 games to go this season. I think I'm on 67 to go.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah. So it's getting close, man. But RJ, but much love for that, man. Because you know that little push is kind of, and obviously the opportunities I've had. So it's been fantastic, man. But yeah, people subscribe. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. And I big up RJ, big up G as well, man. People, go and follow them on their socials and subscribe to their channels. People, Weekly Surgery is done. Not forever, just for today. Episode 10, man. Great chat with the boys, man. Listen, it's a big summer. People say that most seasons, but I think this is a bit different because obviously our league position hasn't been like this for a very, very long time in our own hands. Has it been 6 years out of the Champions League?
Yeah, 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah, and when you see the games you're seeing in the Champions League, particularly I would say from the knockout stages, a man can dream.
Yeah.
So listen, it's for Mikel and our owners and Edu to get their finger out and to make things happen. Go and get the people that are going to propel this club and take them in the right direction. There's some fantastic names in terms of potential recruitment out there that we need to get. We need to be linked with, not we need to be linked with these guys. We need to be making approaches, dirty tactics if it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we on the pitch is shown we're not a walkover anymore. Do it off the pitch as well. The people, like I said, smash the like button. Audio listeners, this will be put out later. But that is the weekly surgery over and out. Come on, Arsenal this Sunday. Take out, people.